All right, what's going on, brothers? Hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully everything's going well for you guys. Man. Game don't change. Only the players, brothers. Only the players. I remember a situation. I couldn't find the video though, but I know I'm not. I know I'm not tripping. It was a video maybe 8, 9 years ago, maybe more. I think it was on World Star where a girl. I believe it happened out of Michigan. A girl got into it with her baby daddy, and she called her. I think it was her uncle and her brother. And you see the video of them trying to run in the house, and you just hear pop, 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 and you hear her screaming, ah! Now I'm not sure what happened. That was the heading, so you never know. But you see the two guys running in there, and you hear a bunch of gunshots. So so I'm just saying it's very similar. But of course, there's a lot of cases like this that get swept up under the rug. I mean, don't get media attention. Excuse me. I say the vast majority of these type of situations usually don't get killed. From the ones I've seen and saw of yesteryear and all the way up to now, usually I'm just saying you don't get killed, but it usually ends into some fighting. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, or whatever the case may be. So, nothing new, brothers. Nothing new. Like I said, the game don't change. Only the players. I remember my uncle was telling us about a situation with a family member, and he's like, he wasn't gonna do nothing because he's like, she's gonna be right back with him, and he was right. I was a young kid at the time. I remember him talking about that, and he was right. I'm like, damn, she sure did get right back with him, a family member of ours. She sure got right back with him too. You know what I'm saying? So nothing new, brothers. Nothing new, man. And my uncle had been through a situation like that. I remember they tell me a story about my uncle had gotten into a situation. It was years. I was a real young kid at the time. So the game don't change only the players, man. And it could have got real ugly for my uncle, real ugly. You know what I mean? So gun. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And that's gotta be. Whew, that was like in the late '80s, early '90s. You know what I'm saying? Game don't change, young blood. Game don't change. But anyway, brothers, may these brothers rest in peace. Also, it reminds me of the Travis Rudolph situation. You guys remember that? The Travis Rudolph, I think is his name. And that was down in Florida as well, too. He got into it with his girlfriend or whatever. She called her brothers and his friends came over. And he ended up killing one of them. Very similar situation, brothers. Very similar situations. So we're going to listen to this brother and his reaction. But before we do, brothers, it's always, if you ask me, it's going to always be guys who are willing to crash out, as you guys would say today, behind some woman. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. For the near future, it's going to be there. But as I saw it yesteryear, I'm seeing it now. It's going to go on in the future. What's done in the old will be done in the new. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. You understand what I'm saying? And I believe a lot of brothers, they're willing to crash out behind these situations because I think a lot of times these brothers don't, I ain't going to say that, because those are their sisters, so they might thought or felt that they have to protect her. And I can understand that. May God rest their souls. I can understand that. But as my uncle said of yesteryear, brothers, you stay out of that mess. Family or no family. Brothers, a woman does what she wants whenever she wants to. Most women are not held at gunpoint. Puff Daddy didn't hold a gun at Cassie's head. She wanted to be there. When Cassie was ready to leave, she left. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Family or no family. That woman, whenever that woman want to leave, she gonna leave. Have you ever forced a woman? I'm just being honest with you. Have you ever forced a woman to do something she didn't want to do, brothers? I'm pretty sure all you guys be like, no. I tried to take her out on a date. I tried to do this, that. She flaky. She jumping it out. Yeah, because she didn't want to do it. I tried to ask her to cook for me. She didn't do it. I tried to ask her to maybe play. She didn't do it. Why? Because she didn't want to. You see what I'm saying? As much as women tell you guys no, what makes you think some guy is going to hold them against their will? Does that happen? I'm pretty sure guys might have put a gun to a girl and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that does happen, but I wouldn't bet you that stuff is is a minority compared to the majority of times. So that what that tells you that the women want to be with these guys. It's nothing new. They want to be with those guys. Don't be fooled, brothers. Don't be fooled. When a woman don't want to be there, she gonna be gone. The woman, especially in America, and especially so-called black women, they have the most independence of any demographic. They can do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do. They can cuss you out, spit on your dog, burn your house down, and it's a good chance nothing will happen to them. You understand what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me, that they're held against their will? No. You know it, not knowing most so-called black men is not going to manhandle a so-called black woman. Most of them are not going to do it. One reason because the price is too heavy to pay. It's too heavy to pay. It's too heavy to pay, man. You get into an altercation with this girl, and and chances are she started it. Yeah, I know a lot of people be like, "Oh, you tripping? You hate women or whatever they might say." Bull crap. Almost every time I've been around, as you guys say, domestic violence or fighting between the so-called man and woman, I would go as high as 90% of the time the woman started it. Slapped the guy, did something. She did something to provoke him. Almost unequivocally, I would go as high as 90 percentile that I've seen. You know what I mean? So most men are not going to do that because the price is too heavy to pay. They're not. Hell, most so-called black men, I would say in the last 20 years, if not more, from my experience and what I've been around, including myself, they'll try to avoid a conflict with a woman almost at every turn, especially in the workforce. Man, and that's one of the reasons why so-called black women get worse, because a lot of guys are not willing to, which I can understand, but because we don't have a power as a collective. But a lot of so-called black men stay out of black women's way. I've seen it constantly, quite consistently throughout my life. Man, I'm going. They trying to avoid it. Oh man, here we go. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. Oh shit, I ain't getting involved with that. Of course, you still have guys who will get on, go back and forth with women. You still have that, but for the most part, I would say on average, 7 out of 10 men are going to try to avoid her. You know what I mean? So I got long-winded. Let's check out this video from this brother and get his thoughts on this. May those young brothers rest in peace. Let's check it out.
Yeah, these niggas dead, y'all. Everybody on the internet has been blaming his sister because she called her 2 brothers over there to crash out and her boyfriend put that fire on them. But just like I say, these women in America are out of control because the men allow it. The men are the ones responsible for getting themselves checked up out of here. 9 times out of 10, this is exactly what's going to happen to you if you come over here trying to play Captain Save Assist. These 2 brothers came over here to the boyfriend trying to throw hands, and the boyfriend was throwing minerals at their ass. Hot minerals. Now he's sitting in jail and he gotta defend himself because he was finna get jumped by 2 men. And you know who's chilling? That heifer. You men can keep letting these heifers be your downfall if you like. I refuse, bitch. And then as somebody with a sister, you have seen how it goes. She called you over to come beat this dude up, and she laid up with him 24 hours later. So it sounds insensitive to say these 2 brothers died for nothing, but these 2 brothers died for nothing. And that was another black man fighting for his life as well. So we got 3 people's lives ruined over some heifer. Excuse me, 3 people's lives ruined because these black men have 0 discernment. Oh shit.
I will agree with him. May God rest their souls. Like I say, similar to the Travis Rudolph or Randolph, whatever his name was. Similar to that case. Nothing new, brothers. There's so many stories I can tell you in real time that's very similar to this, but didn't end in murder. You know what I mean? And another thing I want to say, brothers, is that you'll be shocked. You'll probably be amazed at how many of these guys who do this actually doing it themselves. I remember a mentor of mine, may God rest his soul, elder. He was telling he had his daughter. All 3 of his daughters was tough. Woo, hard hitting. They was bad. As you guys would say, bad on fleek. But his oldest daughter, I had met her. I met all of them, but I met his oldest daughter and her baby daddy, and he seemed like to be a cool guy. But I remember my mentor was telling me that he didn't fight the guy or nothing, but he was talking about he had talked to the guy, because he was putting his hands on his daughter, You know, whatever the case may be. But anyway, fast forward. Once he told me that, maybe 4 or 5 months later, her baby daddy ended up going to jail defending his sister from her baby daddy who was beating up on her. Ain't that something? They got into a melee, and he shot. I don't think he shot her baby dad, but he shot at him. I mean, he's probably out now. That was years. That was over a decade ago. You know what I'm saying? But I remember he was telling me he was just tripped out about that. Like, ain't that something? Here you was putting hands on my daughter, but yet somebody put their hands on your sister. You going, as you guys would say, that they crashing out. You'd be amazed how often that happens, man. They beat up on their baby mama, but somebody beat up on their sister. They finna come and defend her, and they beat up on somebody else's sister. You'd be amazed how often that happens, man. But anyway, brothers, we're gonna end it with this video right here. Hold on a second. All right, brothers, we'll end it with this right here from Mona Love. And this is over 2 years ago. But like I said, the game don't change, only the players, man. Let's check this out. We'll end it with this.
Your brothers and your cousins for every little argument, because you women sit on social media, you sit around, oh, everybody killing everybody, but you never tell the truth that there's been 1,000 shootings and homicides trickle back down to you running your fucking mouth, or you calling somebody and exaggerating because you feel disrespected. Stop calling people. You get in an argument with somebody on the block, that's it, leave it there. You call your brother, now these niggas going through it the whole summer, and then somebody's child die about it. That's your fault. That's your fault. You can't sit back and say it's not your fault because they went too far. You shouldn't have called them. Stop calling.
Well, there you have it, brothers. Game don't change, only the players. I'm out, brothers. Peace.